Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott, LeBron James on Bronny's draft projection, Wendy's introducing price surging, and make sure you stick around for later in the show when we'll be diving into the oddities of the day. Before we start, I'd like to ask that you like and follow the show. We get a number of questions from the viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is streamelements.com/GSMC Sports Network./tip. This puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Hello, Tate. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Yes.
Happy day after Tuesday.
Yeah. Happy day after Tuesday to you as well. It feels like that. It's just like
a little bit
trying to get into the groove of things so far.
Yeah. Very much like a hump day vibe for sure.
Yes. Happy hump day eve. No. Day is hump day. No, never mind. It's not hump day eve. Tuesday was hump day eve. when you're doing 7 days, when you're busy 7 days a week.
Oh no, I forget which day.
Oh my goodness, it is crazy how it is scheduled.
If I didn't have my planner, I don't think I would know what day of the week it is.
Here's the scary thing that happened day for yesterday. We decided to hey, why don't we just get out of here? Let's leave early. And so we're leaving early. And then Sarah brought to my attention, you understand, it's like 6:45 at nighttime. It's not leaving early.
Yeah.
You started at 7 a.m. and you're leaving at like 6:45. That is not leaving early.
No. You overdo the 9 to 5 job.
Yes. So it felt like we were cheating and kind of sneaking out early, and it was like, no, we still had a 12-hour day almost.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. All right. Well,
so what do you have for me today?
So, the Cowboys absolutely want to extend quarterback Dak Prescott. The Dallas Cowboys absolutely want to get a contract extension done with quarterback Dak Prescott. Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones said Tuesday during a news conference at the NFL Combine. Our whole thing with Dak is him being a Cowboy, Jones said. That's all that's on our mind. Prescott threw 4,516 yards and 36 touchdowns against 9 interceptions last season, his 8th with Dallas. The team went 12-5 and lost in the wild card round to the Green Bay Packers.
12-5. I got you. You 12-5. Like what? Yeah,
12-5. Sorry.
Yeah, I got you covered.
Prescott, 30, signed a 4-year, $160 million contract with the Cowboys in 2021. Jones said Tuesday that the organization has not thought about life without Prescott. He also discussed the team's mentality ahead of the next season, because they're all in this year.
Faith is throwing shade on my poor little Cowboys.
You said it too, so.
It's kind of like, the reality. You don't really want to admit to reality. But,
yeah.
Okay. So, it's just mixed feelings with this one.
Why is that?
I think Dak Prescott is an incredible quarterback. I think he is a really good quarterback. But from everything I'm seeing, he wants $60+ million a year. He wants to reset the quarterback market. He wants to be the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. And when you look at the
you don't really feel like he should be the highest paid quarterback?
No, and he is a great quarterback. I thought he was correction. He's a good quarterback. I don't like calling him a great quarterback. I think him and Kirk Cousins are just amazing Pro Bowl level quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know about setting the market, putting 60, $65 million in for a quarterback like Dak Prescott. I've said this before. I would pay Patrick Mahomes anything he wanted.
Yeah.
He can have my first six
I feel like
kids.
he rightfully deserves, to be the
Yes,
most paid.
but you're talking about paying Dak 10 to $15 million more than Patrick Mahomes. And that doesn't sit well. Yes, the NFL salary cap went up. But the Cowboys have a lot of players they need to sign. Tyron Smith, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons coming up. There is a lot of things that the Dallas Cowboys needs to sign. And it worries me if you're gonna go all in on signing Dak, hence all in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Dak deserves to be one of the highest paid quarterbacks. And I don't have a problem with paying Dak 50 million, but I would love to see Dak take a bit of a haircut this time. He doesn't I this whole concept of 60 million a year, 65 million a year, that's, the salary cap's going to be right about that $240 million. And you're saying that a quarter of that money is going
Yeah,
to
and he
go
wants
to one
60
person.
million.
Yes,
That's
and that's kind of what has been let out there. Dak has never mentioned a dollar figure, which is a smart thing for a quarterback to
right.
do.
Mm-hmm.
Is listen, Dak does everything right. He does nothing wrong. He toes the company line. He wants to be a Cowboy. He doesn't speak on his contract. But I feel like if Dak wants to be considered one of the legendary Cowboy players, quarterbacks over the years, the Troy Aikman, the Roger Staubachs of the world, or he wants to be considered in the Patrick Mahomes world, there's a place for both of those. Dak has the ability to leave that hall of very good and go to the great, but he can't do it by himself. And when you're signing 60, 62, $65 million for a quarterback, that means, hey, you got to sign CeeDee Lamb. You're going to have to sign Micah Parsons. That means a lower level wide receiving core. I look at Kansas City, and Tyreek Hill is just an all-world wide receiver. But they had to sign Patrick Mahomes, and they signed Patrick Mahomes to that $500 million contract. But I always felt like the result of that contract meant they could not have Tyreek Hill and have them both. You couldn't have Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, and Patrick Mahomes all
Right.
on that same team because of salary cap space. Well, I'm looking around and I'm saying, if you go to that 60 million, $65 million mark, what role players are you going to lose? Um, Dallas needs to sign a running back. Well, instead of going after the Saquon Barkleys, the Travis Henrys of the world, you may have to draft maybe a lesser player. You can't go out and get keep that bring in like a number two wide receiver that really can bring you up to another level, or defensive lineman or offensive lineman. You're going to miss one or two people on your team when you sign that level of a contract. Dallas is right there. but it seems like every year they're just a little short. If Dallas would have had a running game, a solid running game, I think Dallas could have made it to the Super Bowl this year. But already, because of how much they've had to pay other players, maybe there wasn't enough money to go out and get a Derrick Henry. I said Travis and Derrick Henry, or to get a Saquon Barkley. That player that you're just one player. Dallas is literally just one player away. And when you are so cap strapped that you have to shop more in the bargain bin instead of doing what the 49ers are doing, which is just adding weapon after weapon after weapon. It's Jerry Jones has to keep up with the Jones, meaning you have to keep pace with the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers. And as long as the 49ers, and their day is coming because Brock Purdy is going to ask for that big contract as well.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, you have a quarterback in San Francisco that's getting less than $1 million a year. He has less than $1 million this year, and most likely less than $1 million next year. And you have a Dak Prescott who's looking at 60, 65 million with a 40, 50, $60 million signing bonus. That's a lot. You're talking about, let's say it's right at 60. You're saying 5 years, $300 million contract for Dak Prescott with another 50 to 70 million guaranteed. There is not a lot of room to sign other megastar players on a team. And don't think Michael Parsons coming in and going to give you a company discount. Don't think CeeDee Lamb's going to give you a company discount. You're going to have three guys that want to reset the market in the NFL. Dak wants to reset the market. CeeDee Lamb wants to be the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. And Michael Parsons wants to be the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. You can't do that for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has to step back. And I've mentioned this before. The thing, Brady not only had a work ethic that was second to none. Brady wasn't just that quarterback that could be coached and, Belichick and the coaching staff could check him and say rough things to him without him being a prima donna, which helped the organization stay on track. But the most underrated thing that I felt like Tom Brady did was he was that guy that was willing to take that company discount. He didn't have to be the highest paid guy. Just keep him among the top guys. And that's what I'm saying with Dak. I'm not telling Dak that he needs to take, which sounds crazy, a $20 million a year contract. No, I'm saying get him at that 50. I've said that. If he can stay right around what he's making right now, which is one hell of a lot of money, he'd be one of the highest paid quarterbacks, but there's room to add more weapons to get him over that hump. If Dallas could add a few more weapons, then Dallas could be a serious Super Bowl contender. And they're already a Super Bowl contender. But when you look at them, Green Bay is getting better. Green Bay is definitely getting better. Detroit will be better. The 49ers, I was hoping that as a Cowboy fan, I was thinking the 49ers don't have enough salary to go around for everyone. I thought they were going to run into trouble. But then when the new salary came out and it went out to where it went to, I think 240, 250, it made it so that not only now could they sign their guys, they have enough room to sign their guys, but they may be able to bring in another piece or two, which makes San Francisco even stronger. So, and then you have the Cowboys where, there's no one really resetting the market in San Francisco. And you have three guys that are going to set blockbuster contracts in the next 2 years. It's a recipe for disaster, especially if you're trying to keep up and try to contend for the Super Bowl. When you look at, no one thinks about the Commanders. I think Commanders are going to shock so many people because they have a lot of salary cap room. They have a lot of talented players. That could be the team that no one's looking at that could all of a sudden start contending as well. You have to keep pace at this point. And the fact that they're not even thinking about life after Dak, I don't know how wise that is. I would, if Dak is asking for 60, 65, I would rather see Dallas kind of take a step back and say, we're going to play this year out and we'll see what happens after this year.
So you don't
So,
think Dak Prescott would be okay not making 60,000?
no,
I mean 60 million, sorry.
The Dak is, from everything, this is all speculation. Everything we've been talking about, everything that's in the news, no matter what network you watch, it's all speculation, kind of leaked information here and there. But one consistent thing that has come out is Dak wants to reset the quarterback market. Dak wants that 60 plus million. And that is, I don't know if that's, I don't think it's a smart move for the Cowboys. They went out and traded for Trey Lance with the San Francisco 49ers. Man, I would be taking a serious look at Trey Lance. I would kind of push this thing along, see where things are at. But before I make that move, you're talking about Hall of Fame level money for a very good quarterback, but not Hall of Fame quarterback play. He could get, do I think Dak can get to the Hall of Fame level quarterback? I do, if you give him the right weapons. But you can't have be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL and say, you want all these weapons. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs, their receiving core was below average, in my opinion. But Patrick Mahomes was able to win a Super Bowl with lesser talented wide receivers around him and aging tight end. Dak has maybe one of the 3 or 4 best wide receivers in the NFL, Cook and those guys. He has a talented receiving core. What happens when they sign him and maybe they can't keep some of these guys? What happens then? Where will Dallas fall to?
I think it's time for people to swivel around and look at all the other stuff that's going on other teams. And
man, because I hate talking about a player trying to get the bag and trying to get their money. That's an ugly situation to be talking about another person getting paid. I'm all for Dak being paid. It's just a matter of
trying to build a team with
right. A lot of times, you can't have everything. Listen. I want a Ferrari. And I want the house. I want the big giant house with the pool. I want a private jet. I want this, and this. But then it's like, hey, you don't have all of that. Maybe the private jet and the house goes away, but you're sleeping in your Ferrari.
Not buying groceries for a year.
Yes. You cannot be driving a Ferrari and eating top ramen noodles.
I feel like this is you can't have your cake and eat it too type of situation.
And see, I think Dak is having he can have his cake, he can eat it too. He can have ice cream too, but you're not gonna get the sprinkles.
No sprinkles.
There's no chocolate fudge on top of that ice cream. That's the thing. What takes you to the next level is the fact that the 49ers already, they got the cake, the ice cream, they got sprinkles, they got caramel, they got fudge on top of that, they got potato chips. They already got it all. You know what I mean?
It's like an elementary school party.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to, you gotta keep up. And I think if you do this, if Dak is your top priority and you're going to pay this kind of money for Dak, who are we losing? Right. Where are we going to suffer? Are we going to suffer on defense? Are we going to have to trade one of our big pieces away? Are we going to just say, maybe we can't sign CeeDee Lamb to that blockbuster contract that he wants? Mm-hmm. If it comes down to that, man, I feel like Dak is that Pro Bowl level quarterback that you could live without. Life after Dak is possible. I'm not saying he's a scrub. I'm saying Dak is a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
He is a Pro Bowl MVP caliber quarterback, but at what cost? Mm-hmm. That's my concern.
Well, I guess when is his contract up?
Well,
or is it
he's on his well, no, yeah, he's on his last. This coming season is the last year on his contract, but his agent was able to negotiate. You can't franchise tag him, so you can't just, franchise tag him and keep him another year. Mm-hmm. There's a no trade clause, so you can't trade him either. So it's either you pay Dak or Dak walks away. And there's nothing in between. Dak holds all the cards. And I think that's the biggest mistake of them all, is putting all the power in Dak's hands. This next contract, I would never do that. I would never do that. You have to be able to have the right to franchise him and possibly trade him. Giving him both of them just put them in a rock and a hard place. So
yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what's it'll
be interesting. And that, it's the Cowboys, so it's going to be top story.
Yeah.
You're going to hear about this on all the different networks, on all the shows. You're going to hear about it at GSMC, ESPN, Fox, The Athletic, and everything else in between is going to be talking about this throughout the year.
Yep.
So.
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about LeBron.
Whoa,
LeBron James on Bronny's draft projection. I was reading LeBron and James at the same time in my head.
Listen, we all understand those tongue twisters, so I don't pass judgment. Yes, it's the day after Tuesday, okay? It's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah. All right, guys, we'll be back.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows where 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott, and now we're going to be talking about LeBron James on Bronny's draft projection. But before we do that, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show. We get a number of questions that come in from viewers during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is streamelements.com/GSMC Sports Network./tip. This puts your question at the top of the list so I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Tate was throwing me off earlier, so...
Did you do the tip of donation part at the beginning of the first segment?
Yeah, I did.
That just swept right past me. It's changing too, by the way, at some point.
Tate is over here showing me his breakfast/snack lunch. I don't know what it is while we're on break.
Yeah. Like I said, sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring, yeah.
See, here's the cool thing, though. One thing that I do love about Europe is pastries.
Mm-hmm.
And Europe, it's like when you think of pastries, you only think of desserts.
Mm-hmm.
But here, there is like just as many savory pastries as there is dessert. I'll share it with you. So here's a little bag, boys and girls. So
what we got in there? Unboxing on the GSMC.
This is a pastry.
Ooh.
And it's like phyllo dough. It's really awesome. But then, as I try to open this up like a clamshell here, inside is ham and cheese.
Oh. So
you think it's like I'm eating like a donut or something, but it's actually that. And they make a ton of these, and but it's weird things that you would not normally see. Like, oh, this one has fish in it. And it's like, this one has shrimp in it. This one has ham. This one has chicken and beef, or all these different ones. So sometimes you gotta be careful as the American, and you're like, because this happened to me. I'm like, oh yeah, that looks good. I'm thinking, what is it got, like strawberries or something like that? And you start biting it, and it's like bacala, like salted cod, and it's like, what the hell is this? You can't be biting into a pastry thinking you're getting like strawberries and jam, and you get like salted cod. It's like, oh hell no. That's the talk about ruining your day. You're gonna go in the wrong section because there's just as many savory pastries here as there are sweet. And then one time it was this one pastry thing, and I got it, and it looked like it had like mounds of cheese on it, and I was like, oh, this looks good. I'm ready to tear in this bad boy, and I'm thinking I'm about to bite into a bunch of cheese, and it was like super sweet, and I was like, what the heck is that? Like, you just gotta adjust to the different foods. You gotta be patient and understand the way things are around here. It's a different world.
It's a different world. Yeah,
so you didn't think I was unboxing pastries on the show today, did you?
It's not like your, Egg McMuffin or anything like that.
Yeah, like also pizza. Some of the things that are on pizza here just blows my mind. Like corn on pizza is a very common thing.
I've had corn on pizza.
Actually, really good. Sweet corn on pizza is excellent.
Yeah.
Another thing, people lose their mind about pineapple on pizza.
I love pineapple on pizza.
That's why you're my girl. Mango on pizza is actually really good.
That's interesting. I might have to try that.
Sometimes they'll have like a pizza, and it'll be like a pineapple mango pizza, and that's good. Weird tuna on pizza, that's the one they get adjusted to. A lot better than you think it is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it's like there's things on pizza around here that you've never thought about. You know, how if you're starting a pizza place, you're gonna be featuring your tuna on your tuna pizza.
Salad.
Yeah, that is not gonna fly in America. You can't be down in Athens, Georgia, showing off the tuna pizza anytime soon.
Alrighty. Well, with that, so LeBron James speaks on Bronny's draft projection, quoting, "Let the kid be a kid." LeBron James shared his thought, chatter surrounding his son's Bronny's readiness for the NBA, writing on social media Monday, "Can y'all just let the kid be a kid and enjoy college basketball?" In since deleted posts on X, formerly known as Twitter, LeBron wrote in a response to a post citing a report that ESPN removed Bronny from its 2024 NBA mock draft and instead projected him to be selected in the 2025 draft. LeBron posted on X, "The work and results will ultimately do the talking no matter what he decides to do. If y'all don't know, he doesn't care what a mock draft says. He just works. Earned, not given."
Okay, you did a short on this, so let me hear your take on this first, and then I'm going to give you mine.
In my opinion, I feel like it's probably very hard for children of star athletes to...
Mega star athletes.
Yeah.
LeBron's not a star athlete. There's star athletes.
Excuse me.
And then, you know.
Yeah. I feel like it's
Exactly.
very hard, and there's a lot of pressure on them to measure up to their parent, and I think people are expecting Bronny to be exactly or even better than LeBron James, and I don't really feel like that's fair. You know, Bronny might not have the same dedication, or he might have the same dedication, just doesn't have the level of skills that his dad has right now, which obviously and rightfully so. His dad is he's in his 40s. He's 40 something, right?
He's 30 now. He'll be 40 soon.
40. Okay, so
Still 40, and he's still one of the best basketball players in the world.
Rightfully so. He's not as good as his dad is. His dad is 39, has been playing in the NBA for 20 years. 20 years.
21 years, yeah.
Bronny is just in college basketball right now. Like, you know, people need to chill out. That's how I feel about it. People need to chill out.
Faith, I agree with you 100%, but I blame one person. I blame LeBron.
Why do you blame him?
You're like, whoa, you weren't expecting that, were you?
No.
You're like, what? Okay. Like I told you, went to school in Akron. I know people that used to work for LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Some may still work for LeBron. I'm a LeBron fan. I like him. I'm a Laker fan. But he created this problem. Unfortunately, when LeBron started talking about, you know, that he wants to play long enough that he can play with his son. He wants to play with his son. Like Barry,
he said that?
Yes. Like Ken Griffey Sr., Bobby and Barry Bonds. There's a bunch of players that have done that. So he said he wanted to play with his son. Then at one point in time, he even tweeted about how his son is better than some of the players in the NBA one time. It's one of those things where you're proud of your son. You're incredibly proud of your son because your son has done some great things. Mm-hmm. But you are LeBron James.
Right.
The media hangs on everything you say. Mm-hmm. The media scrutiny against you is so big. So every time you say something about your son, it's bigger. It's bigger than, it's a huge statement. So he has made these statements about his son, and then all of a sudden, you know, he's not the big megastar like they were expecting. And justifiably so. His son had one of the biggest setbacks you can ever have. Like I know that USC, LeBron James, they have tons of money with the best doctors in the world, but we were this close to losing Bronny. Bronny at the beginning of this year went into cardiac arrest and his heart stopped. Not everyone comes back from when they heart stop. And so he had to be monitored and checked and things like that. And there's a concern. So I don't think that Bronny has had this opportunity to really develop this year like he should have, or like they were expecting him to do.
Which, I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah, you went into cardiac arrest. Your heart stopped.
Yeah.
That's called a setback right there.
That's called nature telling you chill out, take a break.
Right. And then before that, you're the son of maybe considered the greatest of all time. So you have this spotlight on you. Then he has this whole thing. And I remember when he had his cardiac arrest incident. And I was like, man, that's so sad. He's never going to be able to play in the NBA. I thought his career was over. If it was my son at that point, I'd be like, no, son, we got not $100 million in the bank or $200 million. We got $1 billion sitting over here. You don't need to play basketball anymore. That's the mindset I have. And
he's only 19.
Yeah.
He's 19 years old, and people are like getting on him and expecting him to be in a NBA mock draft. And it's like, he's 19 and he's in college.
Guess what? When his dad was 16, 17, he was already one of the best players in the world.
Womp womp. He's not his dad.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly it. But the media, and this is the part where LeBron is right. Hey, let the kid be a kid. Let him become a man on his own. And so what LeBron is saying is right. But you had a hand in this.
Yeah.
When you're talking about, you can keep that in and be like, you know what, son, man, I can't wait when we play together. But don't say that in public. I think you're better than half the players on my team, or you're better than a lot of the NBA players. Don't say that in public.
No.
Because that puts a level of pressure on a kid that makes you press a little bit more, that may get into your head. It's kind of like when I was talking about the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones saying we're all in, or we're going to go, this is the year we're going to the Super Bowl, things like that. The psyche that comes with that as the media starts to run with stories, it puts extra undue pressure on a team, let alone
a person,
a kid who's 17, 18, 19. Everyone's been waiting to see what Bronny's going to be like. And before Bronny had his cardiac arrest, they were projecting him to be a top draft pick, first round draft pick. And so with ESPN watching him play his development, which he did have the setback, they're projecting him to now stay an extra year. He's going to be a draft pick next year. It's not like ESPN came out and said, this dude's a bum, he's a scrub. No, they're just saying they're now projecting him to go in the 2025 draft, not this year. Now, let's just say the goal for LeBron is to play with his son. This could be a gift, though. This could be a gift that they always wanted. And that is Bronny has, in the projections, let's say the ESPN projections are correct. He's not a first round draft pick. That would be awesome for LeBron if that's his true plan, because he could slide to the second round in which there's a situation where the Lakers could actually draft him. He could slide to a place where now the Lakers can go out and actually pick him up. You could still have him in a developmental situation where the Lakers are trying to develop him and bring him along, and still have him play with the father and son still play together, where he plays part-time in the G League and part-time in the NBA. This dream could actually happen. Or it could also be a situation where another team just says, you know what? He's not a first round pick, but let's say the Knicks. We want LeBron. And LeBron has openly said, this is why I say LeBron has kind of brought this on. He wants to play with his son, whether he's with the Lakers or not. He wants to go to whatever team his son goes to. So let's say the Knicks or Miami or someone goes out and drafts him, and now they're trying to sign LeBron. Because if you think about it and you're like, hey, LeBron's still good for another 3 more years. He's still a top flight player. Golden State just tried to trade for LeBron. Let's say the Golden State goes out in there and they draft Bronny. And in the offseason, they're like, hey, LeBron, you're going to be a free agent. Why don't we put you and Bronny together and put you, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and you all on the Warriors? This is kind of one of those scenarios. I see, even though Bronny may have slid out in the ESPN projections, I still think Bronny's going to be a first round pick, because of the fact that they're a matching pair of red bottom shoes. You can't get the left without the right. You draft Bronny, you get LeBron. And so I still think people are going to go out and draft Bronny and overdraft Bronny with the whole concept of, hey, this guy's going to be, if he's going to be a first round, let's look at what ESPN just said. He is no longer projected in the first round of the ESPN, when ESPN does the projection. They say he's projected to go in the 2025 draft as a first round pick. Well, Faith, if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, the New York Knicks, Golden State, the Lakers, and you're like, listen, we can go and sign Bronny now. He's on a projection to be a first round pick in 2025 draft. So why not bring him in? Forget about school. We monitor his heart, make sure his heart's great. We work on his game. We bring him in and let him work with his dad and develop him, get him some experience, and we get LeBron. Why wouldn't you do it?
It's a given, done deal.
You see what I mean? So the ESPN's projections are irrelevant, because that's LeBron James's son. And LeBron has already said he wants to go where his son goes. Do you see how what LeBron is saying on Twitter or X, or however you want to say it, is a little hypocritical, because he created this?
Yeah.
But it could also be a blessing in disguise as well. There's all of this. Everything we're saying it can be all a possibility. But getting on ESPN because they've done this, well, they've been doing this. They've been projecting players for years. That's what they do. So don't get mad. Yes, don't get mad that now because your son got, downgraded because you created that spotlight for him. Mm-hmm. But that downgrade could actually be a positive thing. Because let me tell you this, let's say Bronny comes out and he's balling out and he's doing really well. And now he's a first, second, or third round pick. And he's going, you're taking him to the Brooklyn Nets or the Detroit Pistons. And LeBron's like, hey, I always wanted to play with my son, so I got to go to Detroit. I got to go play in Detroit. I got to go play for the Brooklyn Nets. These are two, Bron wants to contend for championships, but hey, my son is over in Scrubsville, USA. And so, this could be like I said, it could be a blessing in disguise.
Mm-hmm. Scrub is your word for the day. You always have a word for the day. Scrub is the word. Scrub is the word for today.
So, this episode is brought to you by the letter S for scrub. I almost slipped up and said C, and that would have been like that. That would not have been, hooked on phonics didn't work for me.
My only thing is I imagine working with your dad and you're on the same team with your dad. I don't know if I would.
No, see, Faith, you're thinking about this all wrong.
Am I?
You're thinking about this as Faith of GSMC. Hey, Dad, come work with me. No, we're talking NBA. You're on the Lakers. You're on private jets. You're going to these events.
I guess, yeah. You're living luxury.
Dad's making 50, 60 million, 100 million a year. Son's making 20, 30, 40 million a year. Sign me up to hang with Pops. Me and Dad, we're rolling in the bank. We're traveling on private jets together. You know what I mean? Limousines and everything. Oh no, this is Faith at GSMC.
I really got the short end of the stick when it comes to life.
Literally the short end of the stick, Faith.
No, literally.
Literally short, Faith. There, you're not making. I don't think.
You know what it is? You know what I always say? God thought that I would be too powerful if he would have made me 5'10", so he had to shoot me down a foot. So.
They're Faith. They're there. It'll be okay. Listen, you could always go for that curling world championship. Those height don't matter in curling. You can
curling,
do a little room.
Curling. No, thank you.
Listen, you could be the world curling championship. Come on. You got to get in. Listen, you got to get in where you fit in. You got to find that short girl sports.
Why I cheered. No, that's why I cheered for 7 years, because that's a short girl sport. But
no. There's no endorsement deals for being a cheerleader. You can't turn pro as a cheerleader.
Yes, you can. They have NFL cheerleaders.
Do you know how? Okay.
And do you know how much money they make?
Faith, I just want you to look up how much a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader get made.
They make a lot, more than what I make.
Here's a little weird thing. I've dated a professional cheerleader in my life. They make $0.00. You don't get paid to be a Dallas Cowgirl. You get nothing for that.
What? $15 to $20 per hour, $500 per match.
They don't even get that. You get nothing for that.
No, they say there's some articles that say they get $15 to $20 per hour or $500 per match. But I mean, it's still more than what I make.
They don't get anything. But, and you know what the weird thing about it is? from someone who's known a few. They'll even tell you that you get it back on the back end because of who you will meet. Most of those cheerleaders, I hate saying this. This is what I'm going to just say. This is what I was told directly from a former cheerleader. They're pretty much told that where your come up comes from is later on in life who you end up marrying. You marry the multi-millionaire.
Well, I feel like with like social media now, like you can get like brand deals and stuff and make money from that. So
yes,
there is that.
And think about this. This was some time ago, when I dated this person. But there is no job out there that someone would come to a man and be like, listen, we're not going to pay you, Mr. Tate, because you're going to make your money is when you get married to Becky later on in life. They would never do that.
No.
That's the most sexist thing ever, is that. Yeah. And now
that's a conversation for another day.
But for the record, if that job is out there, I'm married now, but if that job was out there and y'all can hook me up with Miss Becky, who's willing to, like I said, feed me grapes
just
and
throw
take
money
care
at
of me,
you.
Ooh, I got another story to tell you a later date.
Okay.
This is one of those after-hour conversations that I'll tell you after the show here.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about Wendy's looking to test surge pricing at restaurants as early as next year.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing LeBron James on Bronny's draft projection, and now we're going to be talking about Wendy's looking to test surge pricing at restaurants as early as next year. Tate actually sent me this stuff. I did see a little headline from my news network that I'm subscribed to, but I didn't
I want you to go first, and then I'll dive in after you.
Okay, so I'll give y'all a little background. So Wendy's is looking to test having the prices of its menu items fluctuate throughout the day based on demand, implementing a strategy that has already taken hold with ride-sharing companies and ticket sellers. During a conference call early this month, Wendy's CEO Kirk Tanner said that the Dublin, Ohio-based burger chain will start testing dynamic pricing, also known as surge pricing, as early as next year. Beginning as early as 2025, we will begin testing more enhanced features like dynamic pricing and daypart offerings, along with AI-enabled menu changes and suggestive selling, he said. As we continue to show the benefit of this technology in our company's operated restaurants, franchise interest in digital menu boards should increase, further supporting sales and profit growth across the system. Wendy's company plans to invest about $20 million to launch digital menu boards at all of its U.S. companies run restaurants by the end of 2025. It also plans to invest approximately $10 million over the next 2 years to support digital menu enhancements globally.
Go ahead, sister. Let me hear your thoughts on it.
So, I hate surge pricing. I think it's so stupid. I know, demand and everything like that. If you have a high demand, you can charge more money because people are going to, pay it more than likely. But I hate it because I'm not even going to say how much money I paid for concert tickets that I'm going to this year for my favorite band, and it was surge priced because of the high demand of these concert tickets, and I paid way too much money for concert tickets, and then I paid way too much money for a hotel that I'm staying at because there's a concert there. So I've never been a fan of surge pricing. I think this is stupid, especially at a fast food restaurant. Like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Like, I think it's so dumb. And my question is, if they're going to test out surge pricing, are they going to surge price the employees' salaries since they're making more money during their high demand hours? Are they going to pay their employees more than $7.25 an hour, or whatever your minimum wage is in whatever state you live?
California, they get banked in California.
Okay, well, in Georgia,
yes, they don't get nothing.
In Georgia, it's $7.25. That's the minimum
20.
wage here.
I think it's 20 in California. But
Lucky
I get.
you.
But I get. No, I'm in Portugal now.
No, I'm saying lucky y'all in California
okay.
getting paid $20 an hour. I had a minimum wage job at one point and got paid $7.25, and that does not get you anything. Anyway.
Okay. If
they're planning to pay their employees based on the surge pricing and the amount of money that they make during their surge pricing, then I could be a little okay with this. But I really, really doubt that they're going to do that.
Faith,
So,
I'm looking at this a totally different kind of way.
oh, are you?
Oh, yes, I am. Okay. I'm thinking about the big picture of things. I'm thinking about you and I.
Mm-hmm.
Faith and Tate.
Faith and Tate.
Okay.
Tate Talk.
Think about, have you ever gone like to that concert or that sporting event and there's like a restaurant or something, fast food restaurant or something like outside, close by, and you go there and that place is packed?
Yes.
And you're lining up. Now imagine you're in there waiting to order your Baconator. It starts out at $4.50. Couple people order. You look up there, it's now $5.25. By the time you get to, a couple more people go, it's at $7.20. People are gonna start slinging people in lines like Cam Newton at that damn event.
No, literally.
Wendy's is about to become Waffle House. It's gonna be some great video up in there. They're gonna be slinging them. You know how Cam was slinging at those kids, those dudes that was trying to sucker punch him?
Yeah.
I'm telling you this right now. People are gonna be throwing some punches up in there. They're all they want is their Baconator and fried. And there's like 4 people in line ahead of them. And that ticker just goes from $4.50 to $5.25. There's going to be some fights breaking out there. It's Waffle House 2.0. It's about to go down in there. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You know what's so unfortunate though? Like, Wendy's is the only place that I will get chicken nuggets. I love Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets, and now I don't want to go to Wendy's to support this bull crap.
Listen, you're fine. Go to Wendy's at 10:53 in the morning. Before
and
the
get
rush
my
hour,
nuggets
and get your nuggies go get your nuggies. But you got to go at 10:45.
No,
don't
you
be
can't.
going.
No, because everybody's gonna think that. So.
Don't be going. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Maybe rush hour is going to
12:30.
change. Maybe rush hour will change because everybody's going to be like, oh, well, if I go at almost 11 o'clock and get my lunch, it'll be cheap. Everybody's going to think that. So then 11 o'clock is going to be the new 12. So.
And people like you going to be like, you know what? So I'm going at 12:30. And then you're going to be paying $17.50 for a 6-pack of nuggets. And then you're going to be all salty. And all you've been wanting all day has been thinking about those nuggets. And now you wasted your whole thing. You got enough money for 6 nuggets and a Mountain Dew, and you got to go. That's it for you.
I will tell you, that if they're just doing this as like a marketing ploy, it's really working, because it's been a while since I've had spicy chicken nuggets from Wendy's, and now that this is the talk, I'm like, man, I really want some spicy chicken nuggets from Wendy's.
See, it got you thinking about it. See, I'm thinking about the videos that's gonna go down. It's gonna be, it's like I said, it's elimination chamber up there. It's SummerSlam. People gonna get choked out over surge pricing.
There's gonna be. Do you know how many people are probably gonna walk out from their jobs from Wendy's now because they're gonna deal with all this ridiculous stuff?
And there's gonna be this one enterprising individual that's gonna be like, you know what? I want 45 bags of chicken nuggets, spicy chicken nuggets. He gonna get it at this price at $3.75, and then he gonna get his, and surge price gonna make him move it up to like $14. He gonna be sitting outside of Wendy's.
Yeah.
Yo, I got the nuggets, man. Here you go. Outside selling. Remember like how the
black
fools
market?
were with them? Yes. Remember how those fools were with those Popeye chicken sandwiches for a while?
Mm-hmm.
And they were showing guys, it's like, listen, I got a Popeye's chicken sandwich here. You don't have to wait in line. You've been waiting for a half an hour. I got one right here, $18.50. You know what I mean? You don't have to wait in line anymore. You don't got to worry about surge pricing. We got you covered right here.
Those Popeye chicken sandwiches are delicious.
Girl, I've
so
never
good.
had one.
They're so good. I had my first one like a month ago. Like I waited till the hype died down, and then we don't have Popeyes in Europe, so I have never had a Popeyes chicken sandwich. Oh, they're good.
Or there was like, I've never had any of those, because if I go to a fast food restaurant, I'm going there for a burger.
Yeah, I'm normally the same way too. Yeah, but unless it's like Chick-fil-A, and then Chick-fil-A they only serve chicken, so.
I'm sorry. Ready to fight everybody in America. Chick-fil-A is overrated. It's just salty, lame chicken.
I like Zaxby's more than I like Chick-fil-A.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if you've ever had Zaxby's, but Zaxby's.
No, that's got to be a local thing. I've never even. They don't have them in California. Or
it's a southern chain, yeah. Zaxby's is bussin' though. I love Zaxby's. That's better chicken in my opinion.
You know what though? I'm sorry. I bet you. Gosh, I'm hungry. Because the chicken here, like in Europe, they don't believe in seasoning, like like my people. We like to put a little extra something on it. You know what I mean? There ain't no 11 herbs and spices on the chicken out here. It's like two herbs and one spice. That's it.
It's because all those spices have so much sodium in it. That's why.
They be protecting you. Like they don't have that extra. Like the food is good here.
Doesn't have that
it's
zing.
Really, it's really healthy for you.
Mm-hmm.
You feel your heart boom, 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 boom. Nice wholesome plate. You eat one of them. You eat some chicken plates, and they even baptized herself trying to take a drink. You got. Don't think we didn't see it.
Water.
You got to drink all up on her.
I'm trying to stay hydrated.
I'm over here talking about Portuguese chicken, and Faith got baptized over here.
Oopsies.
Sorry, Faith. I didn't mean to call you out, but I see the little spot on your shirt and everything. I'm sorry. I got to be more civilized during these conversations.
What does that word even mean? I don't know what that means. Civilized.
So, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. Civilized. That word will not exist during surge prices.
No.
As you're trying to get your Baconator and your spicy chicken nuggets and a Frosty, and you had just enough money.
Right.
You got in the drive-thru. You started calculating everything up.
Frosties are $2. And by the time you get to Wendy's when it's busy at lunchtime, that Frosty's going to be $6. I'm
How
not
does it
paying.
feel? Think about this. You're in line.
$6 for a Frosty.
And all you've been thinking about is a Frosty and some nuggets. And you got some sweat glistening on your forehead because you know there's 4 cars in front of you and you worried about surge pricing. You just got just enough. Then you get up there and it ticks right before you get there, and now you don't have enough money for your. So you gotta let the nuggets go because you only can afford a Frosty.
I wonder if they're gonna do this with like DoorDash and stuff too. Like if their surge pricing is gonna be on DoorDash.
I don't know.
Maybe I just found a loophole.
I'm gonna tell you, there's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
Absolutely, there is.
Because on those days when you're like, you know what, I'm a little low on funds. I didn't went into the ashtray. I didn't checked in the cushion, and I know I just got barely enough for a Baconator. And you're like, oh, you look at your watch and it's like, it's 12:03. I can't afford a Baconator.
Wait till like 2:00 and then you'll be.
I'm going to McDonald's. I really wanted a Baconator, but I'm going to McDonald's because I can't afford 12 o'clock Baconators. I can only 2:15 Baconators I can afford. But I can't afford a 12 o'clock Baconator.
Yeah, this absolutely is just. This is an insane thing to me.
You know
I
what
understand. I understand a little bit with like rideshare, like Uber and Lyft doing surge pricing based on how many people are requesting rides or who's in town, whatever. I understand that a little bit more. But if you already have your prices set up in a way that you're profiting and making money, why are you going to do surge pricing?
Listen, you're going to find out. You're going to be like, listen, okay.
You gonna mess around and find out.
I can't afford, a Baconator in Sacramento because it's busy right there in Sacramento. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna have to drive to Elk Grove because it's a little slower. I can afford an Elk Grove Baconator, but I can't afford a Sacramento Baconator because it's a little busier. So you're gonna be wasting. And gas is expensive.
Yes, it is. Gas is expensive.
That Baconator is going to be $22.50 by the time you get over to the town that you can afford.
No, literally, because I would have to drive like all the way across town from where I live to go get to Wendy's to get a decently priced meal.
Okay, right.
And so, I'm not doing that. That's a 20-minute drive. I'm not doing that.
You done drove across town and then you get in line.
And they're busy.
And Becky and her friends are in a car packed with like 4 people, and you know they're gonna run the price up on you. Next thing you know, you done lost your mind. You done reached in there and yanked her out of the car. Y'all got too many people in the car. Only 2 people per car. It's gonna
two people per car limit.
That's right. You know you're gonna be salty. You see 3 or 4 people in a car, like, oh no, they're gonna raise my Baconator price up a little bit.
Yep.
And especially at nighttime, after the club, and you see 4 or 5 big dudes in a car, and they got the munchies. And all you want is just some
55 fries.
Yeah, you're gonna be salty if somebody raised the price. You're gonna be slapping foods because they didn't raise up the price of your spicy chicken nuggets.
Crazy what the world is coming to, honestly. But with that, guys, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna dive into our oddities of the day.
See, I thought this was our last segment. I'm overthinking about Baconators. I'm hungry. I got my food. Look, I haven't even had a chance to bite into this sucker. There's no surge pricing. I want to taste this sucker here.
I know, I'm hungry. My bagel is calling my name.
I'm biting that sucker soon to go and break.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing Wendy's looking to test surge pricing at restaurants as early as next year, and now we're going to be diving into our oddities of the day. Tate's making me hungry, and it's not fair. He's over here eating his sandwich.
I didn't take a real bite. See, I just took a little chomp out of it.
Oh gosh. Okay. So I saw this on Instagram and TikTok yesterday. This is honestly hilarious. Okay. A Willy Wonka inspired experience scam was so bad that people called the cops. People who attended a Willy Wonka inspired chocolate experience in Glasgow, Scotland were promised extraordinary props, oversized lollipops, and a paradise of sweet treats, all promoted with dreamlike candy-colored images on its website. When ticket holders arrived at the event over the weekend, they instead found a sparsely decorated warehouse with nothing resembling the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory franchise the event invoked in its advertising.
They got salty. I already noticed. The Europeans don't play. You don't do none of this false advertising in Europe. Oh no, this is trouble. Keep on going.
Someone said it was just ridiculous. I mean, just very amateurish. Absolutely nothing like what was described. This lady paid £35 it was £35 per ticket, or around like $45 in American dollars. To take her 2 young children to the experience. For the sake of my children, we are trying to be happy and smiley so they wouldn't pick up on the disappointment and just try to make the best out of a bad situation. Outraged attendees immediately began posting their experiences online, calling the event underwhelming and a scam. Some people quickly likened the event to the infamous Fire Festival, a chaotic and pricey island concert that was falsely advertised as a once-in-a-lifetime musical experience. By Saturday afternoon, the experience had been canceled, and local police confirmed to NBC News that they were called to the scene after attendees who felt conned began demanding refunds. At further examination, along with interviews of people hired to work the event, hence the artificial intelligence generated media may have played a key role in creating its veneer. Excuse me, oh my gosh. Essentially, what happened is whoever decided to run this event created flyers and posters and such with AI and then posted it, which if you go and look at like some of these, there's like very obvious like spelling errors in these things, and I don't know why people thought that it was a real thing, but
listen, you can get away with this in America. You're not getting away with this in Europe. Oh no, this is not going down.
What makes this even funnier is they like hired people to like, you know, be Willy Wonka and Oompa Loompas and everything like that. And this one guy said he said in a quote, "I thought this is where dreams go to die." He said of his reaction upon walking into the warehouse on Saturday. "I could already feel the embarrassment. I knew the script was AI generated as well. I was like, this is not normal human writing." And for you viewers out there, I have a little picture. I posted a picture up for you of the warehouse, the sad little warehouse of this so-called Willy Wonka chocolate factory experience.
The Willy Wonka experience.
Low budget.
Okay, here's the first thing. Like in America, we used to getting due. It's like you see, like we're just talking about the Baconator. Yeah. You watch a Wendy's commercial and it's like the Baconator. It's like you drop, your voice drops an octave. Oh. You know, Sunday. That stuff don't fly. You better show up with the right stuff. You cannot show up and think like people are gonna be like, oh, you know, that's the advertisement. We were expecting them lying to us. We were, you know, you can say the zoo and you can have lions and tigers and bears and You go to the zoo
like
and
a squirrel.
it's like a squirrel, a chihuahua, and a chipmunk. And it's like, yeah, look at the little animals, Timmy. But you can't do that to Philippe up in Europe. They'll get upset. They're not used to that. And AI don't determine like, oh, we're in Scotland. No. And sometimes Scottish, there could be some salty people. They're not gonna put up with you. They're expecting, Willy Wonka and the Golden Ticket, and it's like Philippe, Pierre, and a squirrel. No,
Philippe, Pierre, and a squirrel. Oh
you cannot do that here. That stuff, that stuff don't fly. It's like they don't market kind of the way they do in the U.S. Mm-hmm. My wife and I talk about that all the time. Like in the US, it'll be like signs, and you have to go. There's signs and arrows, there's fireworks and lasers and everything else. You don't see that stuff. You don't
so
see
true,
that stuff. That's actually, when we first moved here, we would get upset. Like, don't they know how to market anything? You can't even find a building. Like, you walk past it like 9 times and you can't even find it. So they're not used to that. So imagine you bring your kids, you're expecting the Wonka experience, and you get like that. I could totally see how they would just be
they were PO'd.
So upset.
PO'd.
Man, it's just like one of those things where it's kind of like, especially, that's one of the things that's scary about artificial intelligence, because it doesn't take into account culture or anything. It's just like, I want, the Willy Wonka experience, this, and this. It starts pulling information from the movie and all this stuff, and it puts out this big old thing. And it probably has some dude that was he's probably in like 9th grade. He's handling the marketing. And he's like, this is good enough for me. I need to go. Put that sucker up there. Philippe and his family shows up, and now they're pissed off.
My thing is you bring your kid to this thing that's called a Willy Wonka experience, and you pull up to a warehouse. Shouldn't that be a red flag number 1?
No, because you show up around here, and sometimes the outside don't look as good as the inside. Then you go inside, you're like, dang, this is nice. And little Juan Pierre is expecting to have the time of his life over here.
Pierre, that's the...
I don't know why I didn't call him the little kid Juan Pierre, but yeah, you could see how that would go. I could see how that would go down and go south.
No, it literally was. It looked like an abandoned warehouse on the inside with just like some like store-bought lollipop decorations and like a bouncy house, and then like...
And how much was the tickets?
Clear cups of water. It was 35 pounds. So about 45 American dollars.
So but I was going to say about $40. But you know what? Like, your dollar goes so much further in a lot of countries in Europe. And so to Americans, $40 to $5 for an experience, no big deal. But for some people, and now, is it 40 a person? Because if it's 40 a person
per ticket, yeah, 35 pounds per ticket.
Ooh, I'm surprised they made it out of there alive. So a family of 4, that's $160.
Yep.
To see
go to an
some
abandoned warehouse.
To see some Michael's decorations, and Party City
That's
flyers.
Literally what it looked like. It looked like Michael's decorations for like Candyland themed stuff or something like.
Wow, and they made a come up on that one.
Well, everybody's asking for refunds now, though. They're not going to make any money.
Hey, listen, you can ask for a refund. Don't mean you're going to get a refund.
One. Yeah, that's true.
Now, have you ever had one of those experiences where you're like, oh man, this is going to be awesome. And then you pay, like you were saying, those surge pricing. and everyone's
Yes.
buying it, and then you go there and it's like that, like working in radio, and you start meeting certain celebrities and things of that nature, or television, and you start hearing about some of these things where it's like people are putting the flyers up and they'll be like, oh, Jay-Z, Jay-Z and Eminem invited. And you're like, oh, we're going to the party where there's Jay-Z and Eminem and Beyonce. But then you get there and it's like Timmy, Jimmy, and Becky are there. And there is no celebrities there.
Yeah.
And you upset. And you like want your money back. But all they said was Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Eminem were invited. They didn't lie.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Or you see some of these celebrities where you pay them a fee, a show-up fee. And it's like, you have the right to say that we may come to this party. And sometimes it's $500,000 or something like that.
And they don't show up?
And they don't show up. They'll book, some of these celebrities will book multiple events. And they may show up for 5 minutes. They may not show up at all, but they get their money. See, that's the different world. Could you imagine going to a party and you're like...
I would be livid. I would be livid.
But that's the way it is. And I forget what it's called, but it's like you have the right to market your party that they plan on being there. But there's no guarantee they may be there or how long they're there. You got to be careful when you go to those parties, go to the after party, Jay-Z's after party. I'm sorry, not picking on Jay-Z, just saying this celebrity's after party. And that celebrity might have showed up for 5 minutes and left. There is no time limit on how long they have to be there or if they have to be there. You just bought the right you just bought the naming rights, and it does not mean that you can have it. So this is kind of that same thing. We didn't say we was going to give you the true chocolate factory. It's the Willy Wonka experience. That is what you paid for, the Willy Wonka experience. Is there not a couple of lollipops over there on the floor by the garbage can? Is there not a golden ticket on the floor over there? That's what you just paid for.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah. It gives very much like you're going on a road trip and you see like a sign for like, I don't know, like Dinosaur Land or something, and so you decide to take the exit and go to Dinosaur Land, and then it's just like paper mache dinosaurs.
You know what? I kind of feel like it is that way. I think that's like Athens, Alabama, or something like that. You're going down. I'm almost positive it's Athens, Alabama. You're going down there, and it's like the Space Museum, and you get off at the highway down there. It's like headed toward
like all wrapped in
your way,
tinfoil.
and it's just like they got like one rocket that they thought about using back in '72. That's it. That's it. You're expecting the full NASA experience. You're expecting to see some,
nope.
Just
some tinfoil on the walls.
And you'll be just so disappointed. But see, I know that it just made me think of that. Some of these places, because I've done a lot of traveling, and the fact that I pulled Athens, Alabama out of a hat is one of those things where I should get some credit out of that one. But yeah, you pull over there and it is just like we planned our whole trip coming here to see the space program, and it's like one rocket that don't look like it ever like went anywhere.
Yeah. Those poor people, man. These poor people. I feel bad for them. I understand what it's like.
At $40, yes, at
$40, that's a lot of money per ticket.
€30 a person, 40 to 45 euros. I'd be salty too.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say on it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to close out the show. Thank you for tuning in to the Andrew Tate Show presented by GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content updates. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Peace out.
Peace. Sandwich. Oh my gosh.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn ain't